Hello everyone and welcome back to Cowboys Insiders, your ultimate destination for everything surrounding the legendary Dallas Cowboy. No matter where you are watching from around the world, we are truly glad to have you here today. This is more than just a channel, this is a community which build for passionate fans who live and breathe football, which is NFL. Those who analyze every plan, every decision, and every move which made in the National Football League. Here on Cowboys Insiders, we don't just talk about the headlines, we go deeper. We break down the strategy and we explore the possibilities, and we give you the kind of insight that keeps you one step ahead to everyone else. So if you are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notification so you never miss an update. And to everyone who has already subscribed, thank you for being part of the growing the family. Your support means everything and it's what keep this channel going strong. Now let's talk about why this moment is important for the Dallas Cowboys. Every season brings a new expectations, a new challenges, new opportunities, but this off-season and NFL draft feels different. There is a sense of urgency, a feeling that this team is right now, right on edge of something special. The talent is there, the foundation is strong, but the question remains, what is the missing piece that can take these teams all the way? That's exactly what we are here to figure out. You can expect in-depth coverage of everything happening with the Dallas Cowboys, from the breaking news and trade rumors and player analysis and full game breakdown. We will be diving into a key moment, spotlighting rising stars, and discussing the discussions that could shape the future of the franchise. And right now, all eyes are on the biggest event of the offseason, the NFL draft. This is where a team are built, where the future are decided, and where the next generation of stars begins their journey. For the Cowboys, this draft could be turning points. The light picks could elevate these teams into a true championship contender, and the long ones could leave fans asking what if all over the games. This is your place for a little conversation, a little opinions, and a little passions for a game. So stay tuned, stay engaged, and most important, stay ready, because the journey is just getting started, and you don't want to miss a single moment. So the off-season is always defining a period for every team in the National Football League, but for the Dallas Cowboys, these moments feels even more critical. As the 2026 NFL Draft started, the franchise found itself standing at crossroads between continuing as a competitive team and finally transforming into a true championship contender. Over the past few seasons, the Cowboys have shown a flashes of brilliance, but they have also struggled with inconsistency, especially in the biggest moments. So that is why this draft is not just another year event for the Dallas. It is an opportunity to reshape the identity of the team and build a stronger foundation for the futures. At the heart of the Cowboys' current situation is their quarterback Dak Prescott. Prescott remains one of the most important figures in the franchise, a leader with experience and the ability to guide the offense when everything is functioning properly. However, even the best quarterback in the league cannot succeed without a light support around them. In a recent season, Prescott has faced a pressure due to offensive line that has not been dominant as it once was. Injury urging players and inconsistencies have weakened what used to be one of the strongest units in football. This has had direct impact not only on Prescott's performance but also on entire of offensive system. The running game is another area where the Dallas Cowboys have experienced a noticeable decline during a prime years of Ezekiel Elliott, and the team had powerful and reliable rushing attacks that could control the tempo of the game. Today, what some level of dominance is missing. While they have been moments of promise, there is no clear long-term solution at the running back position. In the modern NFL, where offensive balance is a key, having a dynamic running back who can both run effectively and contribute in the passing game is essential. This makes the draft perfect opportunity for the Dallas Cowboys to address these needs and inject a new energy into the offense. When it comes to a passing game, the Cowboys are fortunate to have a true star like CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb has established himself as one of the top wide receivers in the league, capable of making a big plays and carrying significant portions of the offensive load. However, relying too heavily on a single receiver can make an offense predictable. Defenses can adjust their strategies to limit Lamb's impact, forcing other players to step up. This is why adding another wide receiver through a draft could be a crucial move. A fast and explosive players who can stretch the field would not only complement a Lamb but also create more opportunities for the entire offense. On the defensive side of the ball, the Cowboys have one of the most exciting players in the NFL in the Micah Parsons. Parsons has the ability to change the outcomes of the game with his speed, strength, and versatility, and he is kind of player every team dreams to build around. However, football is a team sport, and even player of the Parsons caliber cannot do everything alone. The Cowboys' defense, while strong in certain areas, still lacks a depth and consistency in others, and strengthening the defensive line and adding a talent to a secondary could significantly improve the overall performance of the unit. As the NFL draft draws closer, the strategy of the Dallas Cowboys become a topic of intense discussions. One passing approach is to focus heavily on the offensive line, selecting a player who can immediately step in and provide protection for a Dak Prescott. Another approach would be to prioritize skills positions, such as running back or wide receiver, in order to create a more explosive offense. There is also the option of selecting the best player available regardless of position, strategy that can sometimes lead to unexpected but valuable addition to a team. The Cowboys could also consider trading down in the draft, a move that would allow them to acquire additional picks and build a depth across a multiple position. This approach requires careful planning and clear understanding of the team's long-term goals. While it may not provide an immediate impact from a single star player, it can create more balanced, and complete roster over time. Ultimately, the success of this draft will depend on decisions made by the Cowboys front office and coaching staff. So every pick carries a certain level of the risk, but it also represent an opportunity. The difference between good teams and the great ones after comes down to how well franchise can identify and develop talent through the draft. For the Cowboys, this is a chance to address their weaknesses, reinforce their strength, and take significant steps forward. Looking ahead, the impact of the 2026 NFL Draft could shape the future of the Dallas Cowboys for years to come. A successful draft could elevate the team to a new level, turning them into a serious contender capable of making a deep playoff runs. On the other hand, missed opportunity could result in continued frustration and unfulfilled potential. This is what makes the draft such a pivotal moment in the NFL calendar. As fans wait to see how everything unfolds, one thing is certain: the Cowboys have a pieces to complete, but they need the right addition to complete the puzzle, and the decision they make in this draft will not only influence the upcoming season but also defining the direction of clear that this is not just another routine roster building exercise for the Dallas. This is defining moment that could shape the franchise's future for years to come in the Dallas Cowboy. For the months leading up to the draft, speculation surrounded what approaches the Cowboys would take. Would they play it safe and build a death? Or would they go all in, targeting an elite prospect who could immediately transform the team into a Super Bowl contender? So now as events develop, the answer seems to lean heavily toward aggressions and bold decisions making. At the center of it all, owner Jerry Jones, the figure known across the league for his willingness to take risks in pursuit of the greatness. This year, his influence is once again evidence. So, report from inside of the Cowboys organization, it suggests that Jones has been heavily involved in the draft. In the draft discussions, pushing for impact players rather than conservative selections. His vision is clear: a Dallas must not only compete but dominate other teams in the NFL this year. One of the most talked about areas for the Cowboys in this draft has been the offense. Despite having proven quarterback in Dak Prescott, the team recognizes that more firepower is needed. In today's NFL, explosive offenses win championship, and Dallas is determined to keep a pace with a league elite. As a result, the front office has been closely monitoring wide receiver and offensive playmaker who can stretch the field, create mismatches, and turn short plays into big gains. Insiders have revealed that the Cowboys have shown a serious interest in dynamic receiving talent. So players with a narrowed speed, precise route running, and the ability to perform under pressure. The goal is to give Prescott another weapon who can change the game at any moment, forcing defenses to adjust and opening up opportunities across the field. But the offense is only half the story. The Cowboys' defense, anchored by superstar linebacker Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is already one of the most feared units of the league. However, the front office believes that adding the light pieces could elevate it to an entirely new level. So the edge rushers, a shutdown corner, and versatile defensive backs are all being evaluated as potential targets. Parsons in particular has become the centerpiece of the defensive strategy, and his ability to disrupt offenses, pressure quarterback, and make game-changing plays has made him one of the most valuable players in the entire NFL. The Cowboys' draft strategy appears focused on surrounding him with complementary talent, players who can capitalize on the chaos, and he creates and turns it into a turnover and defensive dominance. Perhaps the most intriguing aspect of the Dallas draft activity is the possibility of the trades. So throughout the day, rumors have intensified that the Cowboys are actively exploring deals to move up with the draft order. So this is not just something Dallas goes lightly, which makes the situation even more compelling. Moving up would likely to require sacrificing valuable picks, but the rewards could be landing a generational talent. A league sources suggest that the Cowboys have identified a small group of prospects they consider they must have players. So if one of these players begins to slide, Dallas could make a bold to move to secure them. These approaches reflect a franchise that understands the importance of unearned talent and is willing to pay the price to get it. At the same time, the Cowboys are being careful not to overlook the importance of the depth. So a later rounds of the draft are expected to focus on building a stronger and more balanced roster. Offensive linemen and linebackers and the rotational defensive players are all on the radar of the Dallas Cowboys. So these selections may not generate headlines, but they are crucial for sustaining a success over a long NFL seasons. So another key factor influencing the Cowboys' decision is evaluating process. Coaches and scouts of the Dallas Cowboys have spent a countless hours analyzing a game film and conducting interviews, and also assessing the character of each prospect. For the Dallas, talent alone is not enough. They are just looking for players who bring a leadership in a team, discipline, and winning mentality, qualities that align with the character of the team is trying to build. So as the draft continues, reaction from the fans and analysts have been intense. Every pick is scrutinized, every decision debated. Cowboys fans, known for their passions and high expectations, are watching closely, hoping that this year draft will finally bring the missing pieces needed for a deep playoff run or even championship. The stakes could not be higher. The NFC is loaded with the strong team, and the margin for error is laser thin. One great draft can propel a team to top, while a poor one can set it back for the years. So the Cowboys are full aware of this reality, which is why their approach this year feels different, more aggressive and more focused and more determined well. By the end of the 2026 NFL Draft may be remembered as the turning point for the Dallas Cowboys, whether through the board trades, smart selection, or combination of both, and the decisions made during this event will define the direction of the franchise. For now, all eyes remain on the Dallas. The picks are being made, the board is shifting, and the future is being written in a little time. And if the early signs are any indications, the Cowboys are ready to make a step up, and coaches are searching for players who can immediately transform the culture inside the locker room. Around the league, the pressure is enormous because fans is no longer want a patience. They want instant result, playoff appearance, and Super Bowl contention. The biggest storyline surrounding the NFL draft continues to revolve around franchise quarterback. So in today's NFL, everything changes when a team finds a right quarterback. A single draft pick can completely alter the directions of organization. We have seen it. We have seen it happen with teams that went from struggling franchises to championship contenders. Almost every night, with the team that went the struggling franchise to championship contender almost overnight, because they found the leader under a center. So every general manager understands what without a nailed quarterback competing consistently in the modern NFL become nearly impossible for a Super Bowl contender. Several organizations entered this draft season desperate, searching for the game-changing, a signal caller, a team with aging quarterback, unstable offenses, or disappointing seasons are now investing heavily in young talent capable of becoming the face of the franchise. Scouts are studying every throw, every workout, and every interview, and every small detail because the margin for error is laser thin. Missing any quarterback can set franchise back for years, while drafting the right can completely transform the future of organization. At the same time, defensive talent has become equally valuable. Pass rushers are now considered premium assets because of how explosive modern offenses have become. A team know that if they cannot pressure an elite quarterbacks, they simply they simply cannot survive a deep into the playoff. And edge rushers with a speed, power, and athleticism are being viewed as franchise changing, a player capable of anchoring defenses for the next 10 years. Across the league, franchises are also prioritizing offensive line protection more than ever before. The physical demands of the NFL continue to increase, and protecting a young quarterback has become one of the highest priorities in the football. So the organizations are investing first round picks into offensive tacklers who can dominate a pass protection while also creating a lens in the learning of the game. Teams understand that championship are won in the trenches, and the draft is the best opportunity to strengthen those areas. Another major storyline is the rise of aggressive front offices willing to trade a massive draft capital in order to secure a elite talent. A franchise execution no longer wait patiently, hoping their preferred player falls to them. Instead, a team are moving up the board, sacrificing future picks and taking calculated risks to acquire a players they believe can become a superstar. This aggressive strategy has completely changed an atmosphere surrounding the draft night, turning into one of the most unpredictable events in the sport or in the National Football League. The importance of the player development has also become are critical for every franchise. Drafting a talent is is only part of the equation. Organization also must create a winning environment where a young player can grow into a star, and the coaching staff and offensive system also, the defensive schemes, the locker room culture, and the leadership all play massive roles in determining whether a prospect reaches his full potential. Some franchises consistently maximize a talent because of the strong development system, while others continue struggling despite draft highly talented players. One of the most fascinating aspects of today's NFL is how quickly a youngster are expected to produce. So the fans and analysts no longer give a rookie multiple years to adjust. First round picks are expected to contribute an immediate, especially a quarterbacks, a wide receiver and pass rusher. The pressure pressed on these young athletes is enormous, but the league's fast-paced environment demand instantly impact a franchises investing millions of the dollar into young players. Expect them to become foundational pieces right away. The draft has also become a deeply connected to franchise identity, so some teams prioritize physicality and defensive dominance, while others focus on speed, explosiveness, and offensive firepower. And every organization approaches a roster building differently, but the ultimate goal remains the same: constructing a, a championship caliber teams capable of competing for a Super Bowl. The fans across the NFL are already dreaming about what their franchise could become over the new few seasons. Hope is what makes the NFL draft so powerful, and every fan base believes the next superstar could already be on their roster. Every selection brings excitement, optimism, and renewed belief that a brighter future is coming. For rebuilding franchises, the draft represents a survival. For a playoff contender, it represents the final missing pieces needed to compete for a championships. For a struggling organization, it represents redemption and fresh beginning, and for a powerhouse teams already near the top of the league. So it represents an opportunity to stay dominant while the rest of the NFL tries to separate to catch up. The modern NFL is evolving faster than ever before. Offenses are becoming more explosive, defenses more versatile, and franchise more aggressive in pursuing a needed talent in the NFL. The draft sits at the center of all of it. It is where a future are created, career begin, and championship dreams are born. As the next NFL era begins to take a shape, franchises across the league know there it is no room for mistake anymore. But one elite draft class can change everything. So one superstar quarterback can revive an entire city. One defensive playmaker can redefine a championship defenses. The stakes have never been higher, and that is exactly why the NFL draft continues to captivate a millions of the fans every single year. On the end, the franchise that scored better, develop talent smarter, and build a strong cultures is every year without seeing a deep playoff success. One of the biggest stories surrounding the Dallas lineup is the complete rebuild and transformation of the defense during the previous season. The Cowboys struggled badly at the times on defense, especially against the run and the late game situation where they failed to stop opposing offenses during a critical drives. Those defensive struggles become one of the most biggest reasons for the Cowboys' failure to compete consistently against a narrowed team. So because of those problems, the Dallas made a several major coaching adjustments and brought in new defensive minds to reshape the identity of the team. So the coaches inside the organization reportedly want the Cowboys defense to become a faster, more aggressive, and more physically and far more unpredictable. The franchise believes that if the defense improves significantly, the entire team can once again become a faster and more aggressive and more physical, softer and predictable. The center of that defensive rebuild continues to be Amika Person, who remains the emotional leader and superstar of the Cowboys defense. Parsons is still considered one of the most dangerous defensive players in the football because of his explosiveness, speed, versatility, and the ability to completely change the games within a few plays. There are ongoing discussions about a massive new contract extension that could make him one of the highest paid defensive players in the entire NFL history. Cowboys fans view a Parsons as the face of the franchise and believe the future of the defense will revolve around him for many years. So for another huge source of excitement for the Dallas fans, it comes during 2026 NFL Draft. Many analysts around the league praised the Cowboys for having one of the smartest and balanced drafts in the NFL, so their first major selection was a Caleb Down, a highly talented safety whom many experts believed was one of the best defensive players available in the entire of NFL draft this year of 2026 class. Downs has already impressed coaches with his football intelligence, athleticism, awareness, tackling ability, and leadership qualities despite being a rookie. Inside the organization led by the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones, there is a growing belief that he could immediately become one of the most impactful young players on the defense. So the Cowboys also selected Malachi Lawrence, an explosive edge rusher with innate speed and pass rushing ability. The Dallas believes that Lawrence can become a major weapon alongside Amika Parsons, creating one of the fastest and most dangerous pass rushing combinations in the NFL. So the coaches are reportedly extremely excited about his athleticism and his potential to create a pressure against opposing quarterbacks. Another rookie generating attention is Devin Moore, a talented cornerback who brings a strong athletic ability and versatility to the secondary. The Dallas struggled with injuries and inconsistency in the defensive backfield over the last few seasons, so the organization hopes Amor can help to stabilize that area. Everton was also added to strengthen the defensive line and improve the Cowboys' physical presence in the trenches. On the offensive side of the ball, all eyes remain focused on Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott continues to be one of the most debated quarterbacks in the football, so some fans strongly believe he is capable of leading the Cowboys deep into the playoffs if he has the right support around him. While the others continue to question whether he can truly deliver in the biggest moment. Regardless of the criticism, the Cowboys organization still has confidence in the Dak Prescott and is working hard to surround him with a more offensive weapon than ever before. CeeDee Lamb remained the biggest star on offense and continued to establish himself as one of the top wide receiver in the entire of NFL team. And in the last season, CeeDee Lamb carried a huge portion of the offense and consistently made a game-changing plays. His chemistry with Dak Prescott continued to improve, and many analysts believe he could have another monster season in 2026. The Cowboys have also continued strengthening their receiving corps by adding more depth and versatility around Lamb. George Pickens is the one of the player creating a major excitement because of his incredible athletics, talent, and ability to make spectacular catches. Many people around the league believe Pickens could become one of the breakout stars of the upcoming season if he performs consistently in the Dallas Cowboys. The running game is another important focus on the Dallas Cowboys entering a new season. Dallas believes Javonte Williams can help to bring a physicality and a balance back to the offense. So our coaches reportedly want more balanced offensive system that does not force Dak Prescott to carry the entire offense alone every week. So Javonte Williams' ability to break tackles and gain 12 yards could become extremely important in critical situations. Another major priority this offseason has been rebuilding the offensive line. Historically, the Cowboys have been known for having some of the best offensive lines in the football, but injuries, aging players, and inconsistency weakened that unity over the last few years. The organization is now working aggressively to rebuild a strong offensive front capable of protecting Dak Prescott and improving the running game. Many insiders believe that if the offensive line performs well, the entire offense could become one of the most dangerous units in the NFL. So Dallas has also remained in active free agencies, continuing to explore veteran additions who could bring a leadership and experience into a locker room. Reports suggest the Cowboys are still monitoring several experienced players who may become available before the season begins. The organization appears determined to add a depth and veteran presence in a key position to strengthen the roster for a potential playoff run. A special team remains another area of the strength for the Cowboys, especially because of Brandon Aubrey, who has become one of the most reliable